traveled just a short distance right there, worried about pit road speed. Didn't have to worry about speed and leaving.
The big loser on pit road was Jeff Gordon, who fell to 27th. He has since climbed back up the order to 16. Here's Matt.
Mike, I spoke to Robbie Loomis, Jeff Gordon's crew chief, and said, you guys dropped back. Did you have any trouble on your pit stop? They said, no, it wasn't a bad stop. It just wasn't a 14 and change like Dale Earnhardt Jr. It was a 16 flat. No adjustments. I did say, how many sticks of gum are you on now? 3? He said, no, I'm on number 2, but I'm pulling out number 3 soon. So you can see it's very nervous down here for the crew chiefs as well.
There's Jeff Gordon's progress through the day. Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip, teammates, nose to tail. Jeremy Mayfield and Elliott Sadler, who took a provisional, is right up there in the top 5.
Yeah, that's the lap car, that 33 car, just going a lap down, and that usually bottlenecks everything up.
But just remember, Elliott Sadler, this is the car, too. He finished second in the Daytona 500. We saw the sign, Get Well Jack. Jack Roush supplies the motors for this 21 car, the Wood brothers.
Mike Wallace now going a lap down along with teammate Bobby Hamilton. Here's Dick Berger.
Johnson won the pole in car number 48. He has been troubled with overheating all day long. On the last pit stop, they pulled some tape off the grill. That lets more air get through the radiator. It drops the air temperature, or dropped the water temperature 10 degrees. They've told him to go ahead and turn the fan on. That should drop it a little bit more. Randy Dorton, who builds the engines for those cars, said he can run at about 250 for a while without hurting the engine, so long as he doesn't pump the water out. They're very cautiously optimistic about Jimmy Johnson's car. Steve Burns.
Well, Dick, not good news in the 14 pits of Stacy Compton. He came down here with a car they had never tested, never taken to the wind tunnel, yet he qualified 6th. Well, he is now very far behind the field. They think he has a broken valve spring on the number 14 of Stacy Compton.
And update Frank Kimmel, after that broken shock absorber problem, he has returned to the race.
2 things on Jimmy Johnson's car. When you start pulling tape off, Larry, as you know, you're going to open that front end up. That's going to slow you down, so he's not going to be able to run back up there and lead this race like he did at the get-go. And the other thing is, these cars have electric fans. They don't have a mechanical fan like you have on your passenger car, like you used to have on your passenger car. They got an on and off switch for the fan, and normally at speed you don't need to run the fan, but if you're having a heating problem, it's helpful.
You know, I'm a little surprised, though, that the Stacy Compton group, the 14 group, is having a valve spring problem. Normally, that's caused from excessive RPMs. Now, I want to just show you where the valve spring is. There's 16 of them. You have one on intake, one on exhaust. There's the valve springs right there. And normally, it's a product, when you break one, of excessive RPMs, only turning about 7,000 here. I'm a little surprised at that.
More than likely, Larry, that happened leaving the pits. More than likely, he over-revved the motor leaving the pits.
And it's exactly, I would say, what has happened. You have 2 valve springs. You have an inner and an outer. And I would say, if you're going to tear or break a valve spring, it would be leaving pit road. Ironic, it happens right after a pit stop.
Exactly.
Our top 20 after pit stops was 2 seconds apart. They're now just 1.2 seconds apart. The pack is closing up into a wad again.
Yeah, Mike, I'm curious. I want to ask Darrell and Larry about this. Stacy Compton actually stalled his car when he was leaving his pits on that pit stop on lap 51. Wonder if that could have broken that valve spring then.
Well, what it does, Steve, is you crank it back up. You rev the thing because it won't go. It stumbles, and when it does take off, the engine revs up real high before you can do anything with it. So, yeah, I'd say that had a lot to do with it.
And, I mean, they pull such a high gear, you know, 300 to 307, where it was at 6-something last week at Martinsville. It's hard to get it going. You'll stall it out sometimes leaving the pit.
Yeah, when it stalls, then everybody's hollering at you, and you got to hurry up, and, you know, you rev it up.
Whoa, Jarrett. Hell, Jarrett, that 88 car, almost sideways.
Tried to slip under Tony Stewart and getting back in line. He might have got a little pop from Matt Kenseth.
I think he did.
One outside. Nice job. One outside. 2 outside. Got Robbie in the middle. 2 outside.
Well, you see what he does, too, don't you? So I got to catch my breath. That scared me.
Dale Jarrett starting back in 41st. He had worked his way almost to the top 10 or 12, and he's falling back now to about 19.
Jeff Hammond.
Guys, I was wondering, watching the 88 car, I wonder if he thought he was getting ready to run out of bounds, guys, and jerked that car back up on the racetrack, not realizing that Matt had already started making a move on him and almost got himself in trouble.
Well, let's see.
I think Kenseth is just right up on his back bumper. He started to make a run on Tony. He saw he couldn't do it, and he had to pull back up, and Matt tapped him.
Darrell, when you shake that car sideways and lose your forward bite, the effect, there it is right there is the effect to the car behind you as if you'd hit your brake.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't anticipate something like that. That's what, see, whoops out. Then all of a sudden he says, I can't make it. A lot like what Jeff said, the yellow line's there. When he tried to get back in line, Kenseth had a run on him.
Where he was at was not going to work getting into turn 3.
No, and that's why they instituted the yellow line out of bounds. They don't want you going in that corner 3 and 4 wide.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., our leader. Here's Matt.
Mike, a few moments ago, Dale Earnhardt Jr. came on the radio and told his team to tell Michael's team that he cannot run the same line as Michael. Michael likes to run down in the bottom near the yellow line. Dale Jr. says his car gets a little tight trying to run that lane, so to ask Michael to move up half a lane or so.
Thanks, Matt. 2 of the top 3 finishers in the Daytona 500 are tailing the field. One is 500 winner Ward Burton. The other, third-place finisher Jeffrey Bodine.
Hey, Larry, I mean, all those years of racing, wouldn't it have been nice to have someone to call on the radio and say, will you tell him to follow me where I want to go and stop going where he wants to go, and he's my teammate and trying to help me.
But, you know, I think what will happen, you know, they will move around and see if their car works as good maybe where their teammate's working. No disadvantage if it will do that.
I always call on the radio and say, will you tell so-and-so to do to stay behind me? And they say, yeah, watch this.
2 wide.
Bill Elliott's often said, among many drivers have often said, I want to be out front, or I want to be way out back. Maybe that's why and where Ward Burton is.
The eye of the storm is brewing.
Still 3 wide through the corner, 3 wide.
Well, I know we talk about a lot of people being important, the driver, the crew chief, but that spotter on top of that grandstand, he's his eyes, he's his arms, he's his legs, he's his ears. He's got the most important job.
20 cars are only 1.1 seconds apart.
I don't have time to dwell on it.
Yeah, go, man.
Yeah, tell me about it later.
We'll talk about it this afternoon.
The plus to that is you saved it and you didn't wreck. Now get going.
You know, guys, we're almost 80 laps into this race, approaching halfway. 43 cars still out on the racetrack, and of those 43, 39 of them are running within 4 seconds of each other. And that's through a green flag set of pit stops.
My question about Ward Burton, there does not seem to be anything wrong with his car. He's just kind of hanging out as the caboose there, Steve.
Yeah, just went down to check on Ward Burton. And, you know, earlier I said he was having a hard time this morning making himself comfortable in the race car, which DW talks about a lot. Well, right now he cannot find a comfortable place to run. He's searching, trying to find a place, any place on the racetrack, a lane where he feels like he can compete. Right now he doesn't feel comfortable.
Now, Tony Stewart was up amongst the leaders and for a while drafting right off of Dale Earnhardt Jr., and he has dropped back to 31st.
Well, I think every driver has a thought process that he goes through here. And every driver has a point in a race where he thinks it's time for him to take a breather. It's time for him to drop back there, view this thing from the back, and see if something's getting ready to unfold. Because there's points in the race where it's more apt to than not.
See by the Fox tracks, Tony Stewart back there, I mean, he's losing ground fast to Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's leading this race right now. You know, also what you find out back there, Darrell, you find out, you know, where your car's maneuverable. You know, is it better up high in traffic, better down low? I mean, still don't want to see you back there, but you're getting an education about your race car.
Well, yeah, you might, you know, get back there where you can move around a little bit. When you're 3 wide all the time, I mean, you know, you're pretty well dictated to the line you're going to run by who's doing what. At least you get back there and you try it. Like you say, move around, try your car in some different places.
And Tony's had a tough week here in Alabama. He was interviewed by a British writer who perhaps took Tony's comments out of context, saying that the fans here were obnoxious. He says he meant they were boisterous. They have a great time here. And he had a cute T-shirt on and driver introductions saying obnoxious Talladega driver.
3 wide outside, no help.
He can take the joke as well as dish it out.
3 wide outside. Exit 2 wide outside. Wide outside.
I know as a crew chief, I pretty much left the radio waves for the spotter. He could do that driver a whole lot more good than I could.
I came here, Bobby Allison and I had a run-in somewhere back in the 70s, 80s, early 80s. I came down here and I didn't know about rolled tide. I just saw boxes of tide with rolls of toilet paper on people's antenna, and I was nervous wreck. I didn't know whether to come inside the racetrack or not. So I kind of know how Tony feels.
Dick Berggren?
Well,
Greg Zipadelli is Tony Stewart's crew chief. It's also his 35th birthday. Greg, why are you guys running in the back today?
Tony was getting a little impatient there. Nobody was helping us when we got up front there after the pit stop, so we're just going to go to the back. No sense getting frustrated this early in the day. We got a lot of racing left. We got a really good race car. We'll just, we got one more stop to go, and then we'll race hard the last stop.
Okay, happy birthday.
Starting to look like the Tour de France. Sometimes you want to lead, sometimes you want to ride.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Calm down. The driver and the crew chief and the spotter both. Calm down. Take a deep breath. Fall back. Get your composure, and then we'll get them later on. Because if that driver is giving a lot of static across the radio about how people are driving, the best thing he can do is get out of there.
Well, we now have everybody nicely linked up. 2 Chevrolets, followed by 2 Dodges, followed by 3 Fords, followed by 2 Chevrolets. Isn't this nice? Everybody's found a partner.
for the time being. And you know, I think Greg Zipadelli makes a good point. They know they have at least one more green flag stop. They're going to actually have 2 should we stay green all the way. So that's going to mix things up. So again, you're learning about your car. You know you have more green flag stops to come.
Now, on the outside, Kevin Harvick. Now, talk about being misquoted. It was reported last week that during the Craftsman Truck Series race, he had said he was going to dump Coy Gibbs. In a press conference yesterday, Harvick denied making such a statement, said it was made by someone on another team, but it was attributed to him. Says he did not say that he was going to dump Coy Gibbs. The 2 of them did get together and crash, however. And Harvick said he has learned a lot about himself and learned how he is part of a much bigger picture in NASCAR and will act accordingly from here on out.
Darrell, did you see right there Kevin Harvick in the 29, how he moved against the 99 car and then he shot away? That like gives you a little push away from him when you get up against him and go away.
Oh, you'll play with the air. I mean, there's air. I keep saying about turbulence. There's air all around these cars, and you want to know if the buff off of one of the other cars, when it buffers off of it, where your car's going to go. You're making notes. You're making mental notes this whole race, all geared up for that last 5 or 10 laps of this show.
The 98 car we're not used to seeing. That is Kenny Wallace in a 1-race ride for Michael Waltrip Racing.
Whoa! Ryan Newman got into the back. Look at Dale Earnhardt Jr. with his hand out the window.
Yeah, and you see what happened as the 12 lost his momentum, and look at all these cars going by him.
Flashback. 1 year ago, the Daytona 500. Kurt Busch going through the tri-oval, bangs into Dale Earnhardt Sr. Earnhardt put his arm out the window at 190 miles an hour to give Kurt Busch a wave, and I said it was like the lamb taking on the lion. And it was. Like father, like son.
Apples don't grow far from a tree, boy.
I tell you, to go through what Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the 8 car just went through there, the Budweiser car, I mean, he didn't lose much momentum. He has got a fast horse today.
Oh, yes, he does.
He and Michael Waltrip. Let's see, is there a big donut there?
I believe there was a little donut, a little tire rubbing there. Yeah, right there behind the left front tire.
Gets down under him here, and the car just shoves up. That's a product of it. That dreaded what, Larry? The dreaded what?
Arrow push.
Oh, thank you for saying it.
But when he dragged his car, maybe he didn't necessarily get into Dale Earnhardt Jr., but as he dragged across the back, it pulls Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car around, makes it loose.
Great save, I got to say. That's 2 good saves. 2 good saves. You know, the third one, I hope we don't have any strikes there, any more strikes.
Aerodynamic push. When the car doesn't get enough air going over the hood, loses its front downforce, and it doesn't want to turn.
Well, it's a product of being in traffic as well. Your car loses the front downforce when you're behind another car.
Well, Newman, I think that really upset his composure some, because he's getting pushed around now.